Welcome back. So, all week I've been having I don't want to say just good topics, but things that have come to mind that I'm like, yeah, that should be talked about. But when I think about it later, I forget what that topic was. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure that's on purpose so that I don't talk about the things that have been coming to mind that are kind of really important things to kind of put out there just for people's perspectives or just to get better understanding of things. But I'm just hoping everything that was important throughout the week that I was thinking about comes to mind while I try to talk to y'all today. But I don't know. They've been zapped about my mind for some reason. But I don't know. I guess the first thing I kind of want to talk about is how I don't want to say representation matters, but having something to show as what things could be like or what things should look like or what things are actually like is really important. I've seen how we all know how they try to portray certain races into certain stereotypes. And it's like that on purpose to have that representation put out there so that people can mimic those ideas of what other people want certain races to be like. And to me, it's just if we could innately just be who we are or react how we would naturally react, that's not how we would represent ourselves. And when you see someone who shows up as someone that you authentically are kind of like, it's like a breath of fresh air, because it's just like, I knew there, not saying there's others like me, but it's like I knew how I felt or how I naturally wanted to show up as myself wasn't not normal. It's not so taboo as other people are trying to make it be. You're not the weird one in the group just because you're this certain way. There's other people that are this same way. It's just that they don't have that representation placed out there. So you feel like it's just you like this, when it's like, that's not the case. It's just people that are similar to you just might not be placed on a platform or presented in everyone's face like other stereotypes are. And just for people to feel comfortable in just being, it's like it should be an automatic response, but it's not, because of how much other things are just put in your face. And it's just like so much of that's been that's part of the program so much that it's playing out exactly the way the people that place those stereotypes into the program to be, that naturally just showing up as your authentic self is considered abnormal, which is crazy in itself. But it's all part of that program or plan of people that wanted certain stereotypes to be placed on certain people. Then another perspective showed up where it's like you have people that are so used to these stereotypes that they feel like they have to continue that cycle of that type of programming. And it's just like they feel like they're helping situations when they're part of the problem, like they're part of the programming. And it's just something I noticed, and it's not something that could easily be fixed, but it is something that can be changed because representation matters. Like, I saw a video of a group of guys in suits, and they all look good. Like, they suits look good. Like, not even just I'm putting on a suit because I want to show what men look like in suits. It was like, these look like men that wear suits. Like, the suits were tailor fit to their bodies. Like, it's if you wear a suit, you wear a suit. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to have a certain fit. There's a difference between somebody that's putting on a suit and someone that wears suits. And it's just like, looking at all of them, it's like, oh yeah, they wear suits. Like, they look good. They look good. They did. But it's just like, I don't want to say it was strange, because it wasn't strange to see them all in their suits. It was just like, oh, I wonder what event they have going on, or what brought them together to be in this space with all their suits. Like, what made the suits link up? Like, suit gang. Nah, they did look good though. But what was kind of dope in it, they was all just like telling other black men like different ways to show up for themselves. And it was nice to see. Like I said, representation matters. So it looked good, it felt good, it was what it should have been, and I love that for them. So I was seeing how another group of people like came around trying to make their presence known in like the opposite way. So they wanted to show how powerful they were by showing like things that they can do, or people they knew, or just different negative aspects of things they have the ability to do. And it was just like, you're only doing that because it's part of the programming that they placed in you to do, to show up as something that you probably wouldn't do naturally. And it irritated me, because it's just like people thinking that they're part of the solution when they're really part of the problem. And it's just like people showing up as their authentic self, doing exactly what they came to do authentically, and doing the representing like they should, was just different than somebody feeling like they're showing up and actually being part of the problem, thinking that they're part of the solution. And it's just like, you ain't do nothing but just irritate me. But anyway, that was one thing I noticed. Then another situation that kind of tied into the same thing. There's different like just leadership representations that I've been seeing. And again, like I reflect with God often. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, even though the numbers don't match on these videos, the amount of people I hear say things that I've said in videos just lets me know that somehow, some way, these people are tuning into these videos, but the numbers aren't matching. But anyway, so I've seen how leadership is showing up, and I'm asking God, like, why are you showing me these people, or why are you showing me the way that they are in leadership positions, and what do you want me to see in it and get out of it? Or what are you showing me as a reflection of me in it, or what I'm supposed to learn from it? Like, I've heard when you have a certain leadership, like when you're under a certain leadership, it's either a quality in you that you're seeing in them, like there's a reflection of their type of leadership in you, and that's why you're under their leadership. And for me, I feel like there's something that God wants me to learn from them as far as what they're doing, or something that he doesn't want me to do from their leadership perspective. And that's just me and God's relationship. That's what he teaches me through it. But like I said, I've heard before someone else mention that if you're under someone's leadership, it's something within their leadership styles that kind of reflects in you, that like kind of placed y'all both in that situation for you to be under their leadership. And I take, some things with a grain of salt. So it's like, okay, that might be true in a sense. So I'll take that perspective, like, what's the term? Like a long handled spoon, whatever. I'll take it for what it is and learn from what supposed to be from that statement, right? So when I'm watching these different leadership styles, I look at it and I'm like, I'm nothing like them. Like I wouldn't say that their leadership style is my style at all, but I'm here in this space underneath them, learning from them. So what is my lesson or reflection in it? Because when I look at these people, I don't see the similarities in it. I don't see how they show up in certain situations regarding me. Now, I don't know about, well, I've seen it in other people too, but more so with myself, because I'm just the type of person that I'm self-reflecting. I'm not too much trying to figure out other people's problems. Like, that's just not me. But if I notice something, I notice something. So I'm just sitting there like watching how different leadership or people in leadership positions show up. And I'm just asking God, like, what is the purpose in me being around this at the moment? So I see how they'll take things that are said from me or ways that I've expressed how I've noticed something and try to bounce it back or reflect it back to me. But it's usually like in a very negative sense. So I'm just like, of all of the things you could have picked up on or learned from, why did you choose the negative aspect of learning from it? Like, what made you take what I said and just see the negativity in it and reflect that back on me, instead of taking like the positive quality and try to reflect that back into just leadership in itself? So it's like I was put in situations where I don't really want to say I was called out, but it's like how I heard it. Someone said like this should be studied. So there's people like studying me. I'm just going to say me because it is what it is. So it's people studying the way I show up and trying to tell me how to fix things about me in a subtle way. So it's like, it's weird to see it like that or hear it like that, because when I do these things, it's usually between me and God will format a situation to make me learn in that situation. So for someone outside of God to deliberately try to do it is strange to me, because it's like, this is something me and God has done on our walk, majority of our walk together. So for someone outside to try to do what God does with me is strange to me. But again, like I said, God teaches me in different ways, and I don't know what he's doing with other people. So I just allow God to do what God does. So when this person was just telling me like something that I a way that I was making other people feel, because I guess they went to them about me. It was just like, you have this quality. This is how you're making other people feel. This is a way that you can fix it. So I took that as, if it was such a big deal, this person could have just told me and we could have just talked about it. But since it got to this point, maybe I do need to hear or learn something in this situation. So I took it as a situation to learn from. So I'm like, okay, it's gotten to this point. Let me see what I need to learn from this. Maybe I need to show up differently in this aspect. So I did a self-reflection, still went back to God to ask God, is like, this something that I'm actively needing to work on? Is this something that I'm showing up in the light that these people are trying to portray? Or is this just a lesson for whoever needs the lesson? And how it formulated itself was, I still did what I normally do. So it's not saying that I didn't learn anything from it, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just so perfect. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that when I heard or felt or got placed into this situation, I took what was said negatively, tried to turn it to a positive for myself, and move forward in a more productive way. But when it came to the opposite perspective, just again, me viewing how things are happening in the environment, these same individuals took the situation and took the negativity out of it and went into a more negative route. And it just doesn't, it still doesn't make sense to me. And I don't understand it. I really don't. I really don't understand it. And when I talk to God about these things, I'm just like, I'm the way I am with God. Like, God knows me. He's helping me to understand what an authentic relationship with him is like, because I've walked so much in trying to be what other people feel like Christians should be like, or feel like how other people should show up in their relationship with God is like. And that's something that he's helped me break free of. And at this point, I don't care what you think or how you feel about how I walk out my relationship with God. Like, if it doesn't look like it's showing up the way that it's supposed to show up for you, that's something you and God need to work out together. But when it comes to me and God's relationship, and how he accepts me for who I am authentically, and still, what's the actual Bible? He corrects me. He corrects me in spaces and places when I need to be corrected. There's a way the Bible words it. But again, this is how me and his relationship is. Like, for me, he's never made me have to remember the scriptures to a T to be correct in his sight. Like, that's not our relationship. And I don't want to misguide anybody through my walk with God and say that it's not important, because it actually is. But it's not something that he demonizes me for. And I don't want people that's trying to authentically walk with him to feel demonized by things that other people feel like are traits or qualities of what they feel like Christians should be like, or a standard that Christians should be at, when it's just like there literally are different levels. Like, there's different levels, and accepting people at their level but still trying to love them through their levels is like, grace. Where's the grace? It's as simple as that. Where's the grace? But in this situation, I'm talking to God like, I don't see the growth in them. Like, I'm trying to love them through whatever you're trying to teach me in this space, like loving people through their levels, but I don't see how we are going through these same lessons per se, and I'm trying to find the good in it, but they're constantly showing up in the negative aspects. Like, how do I move forward with having to deal with this constantly? And God was just telling me, like, they show up in darkness because they love darkness. Like, that is just who they are. And the Bible verse that comes to mind is like, God's going to give them over to a reprobate mind. Like, that's just how they're going to be. That's how they're going to operate. That's just who they are until they come to a come to Jesus moment with him and themselves. Like, this is just how they're going to be, and you can't let that affect you. So even in this situation, it's just like, how do I move forward knowing that this is just who these people are, this is how they're going to be, and just, I don't want to say protect myself through it, because that's not how I feel. It's more so like, not even bothered is not even the word for it. It's just more so like how to still show grace. It's really just how to still show grace, because like I really I'm really trying to show grace now and not speak how I really feel about these certain individuals. But when I don't have nothing nice to say, I'm just not going to say anything. So the Bible verse that God kind of pointed me to when it came to these people showing up in darkness was John 3. And I'm going to just read it. So it's John 3:19. I was going to stop at 20, but I'm going to read 21 too, because I'm going to read 21 too. So it says, "This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God." And with that verse, it's not me trying to justify any wrongdoing that I've done in any situations that I showed up in ways that I could have been more godly or godlike in. It's just that me showing up, expressing how I authentically felt, and not feeling convicted, like genuinely not feeling convicted for how I reacted, is God letting me build my relationship with him in authenticity, and also learning to not feel like people's reaction to how I am working through my salvation with God as a conviction in itself. Like, not letting other people make me feel convicted when God doesn't make me feel convicted. Like, there are certain things that need to be corrected, and God will, confirm those things with me to let me know when I've showed up, when I've been wrong in situations, and he'll help me correct those things in the way that I react, respond, or how I'm supposed to just pray through certain things. And it's still trying to show grace when it's the same thing on the opposite end. It's like you're being evil, you're showing up as evil, but that's something you and God have to work through because he's seeing it all. It's me responding in a way that's not favorable, but making sure that I'm still trying to show the God in the situation, because God is literally seeing everything play out, and he's going to separate it and place it into where it's supposed to be. So how else that kind of showed up was, there's certain situations where I'm just like, that was premeditated. That was planned on somebody else's part. Like, that was evil trying to show up as evil and portray it as if I was the person trying to be this type of person. And I had to talk to God about it again, because I'm just like, God, you know me. You know that I wouldn't just outright try to place myself in situations that I know aren't of you. So why is this happening, and why are people looking at me as if I'm the cause of this? So there's a situation where I don't want to say I judged this lady, because I really didn't feel like I was judging her. It was just like a shock to me. So I was talking to my grandma about how people can know people are married and still like push the boundaries of not honoring people's marriages. And I was just like, I just don't understand how people can be okay with that, because to me, like, I really value marriage. So to see it happening and feeling like people just, were okay with it was just like, it was like a shock to me. But then again, it was just like, I really don't understand. So I don't feel like God placed me in a situation to understand, but I feel like because I was asking about it, the enemy felt like he had an opportunity to sneak in and be perverted, because I truly didn't understand. So God allowed a situation to help me to understand, and to allow the enemy to do like a mini Job moment in its sense. So again, I was having that conversation with my grandma about, the situation that took place and me not understanding. And then there's a situation where, like, I'm not going to say that so I'm trying to say this without it being perverted, because I don't want it to be made more than what it is, because it's really not more than what it is. So there's a guy that I found attractive. And granted, when I first saw him and found him attractive, it was just as simple as that. Oh, he's an attractive man. There are attractive people out there. Like, just because I acknowledge someone as being attractive doesn't make it perverted. The same situation happened where I saw a lady and I was like, oh, she's an attractive lady. Just because I found her attractive, it wasn't perverted. It was just me acknowledging people being attractive. So how the enemy tried to make it perverted, people would come up and try to make me feeling like this person being attractive was more than just that. So they would cause situations or scenarios to make it seem like simple conversations was more than what it was. And it's just like, in the situations, I could see it taking place, but it also was just like, God, why are they making this more than what it is? Like, why are they trying to make something out of nothing? And I was feeling judged, as if people were looking at me like I was trying to break up a marriage, when it's just like, that was never my intentions. It was more so regular conversations, because two people are in a space together. So instead of being awkward, there's conversation being had. Like, and even it's even related. So that to me didn't even make sense in itself. So people would come up and just do the oddest things to make it seem like a regular conversation was more than what it was. So again, I noticed a lot of things. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, God, what is that? Like, why are people making this so strange? And to the point where I've if I'm talking to this person, they're bringing up conversations we've had. And it's like, Lord, why do they have so much access? Like, why are these people so accessible to what I would consider private conversations? One, when to me it's not private to the point where I'm trying to be sneaky or anything. It's just people having access to these conversations just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to know that we've discussed these things when it was just a simple discussion between two people. Like, them having the knowledge that we've had conversations just doesn't make sense to me. But because of the access that God allowed these people to have, it allowed them to create perspectives or scenarios of what they think could happen, or an outcome that could have happened if things could have went this way, or if they could create the story, it would go this route and this would happen, to have drama and negativity. And it was just like, none of that was ever the intention from me as a person. And I would hope so on the opposite end, knowing that that's a married person. So it's just like, to me, none of it didn't make sense. So it got to a point where, like, I had a dream about this person, and it was just like, God, why am I having this dream? Like, am I lusting after this person? Like, if I am, forgive me and help me through that, because I don't want to lust after anybody. And plus, I don't want to feel like I'm causing any type of anything between anyone's union that you brought together. Like, I don't want to be the cause of nothing negative, even if it's just a perspective from people wanting drama. Like, that's just not who I am. So I don't want anybody to paint a negative picture of me when that's not who I am, nor how I would intend anything to be. And God was just like, he was showing me through the situation, pretty much how much he values marriage, why I value marriage because he values marriage, and different ways that I need to learn to communicate for me to have a healthy marriage, and how to pray against different things that could take place in marriages. Like I said from the beginning, people acknowledging other people being attractive doesn't make it perverted. It becomes perverted when people start acting on I guess, I don't even want to say feelings, but acting in unfaithful ways. So what it made me do, it made me pray for those people in their marriage, and it made me pray for things that I would want to work on for myself and things that I would want to combat in, like, whenever I get married. So it was helping me to understand things to pray about. And it also showed me that people are just evil, and they need something to talk about. So they will try to create scenarios that aren't even real things to make things perverted, just to have something to talk about. But what really irritated my soul in the situation was it was corrupting people's characters that weren't even displaying any of the things that they were creating scenarios of. It's like, that's a good man, so why would you create that perspective of him not being a good man? Like, every time we're in a situation, he's showing up as a good man for himself and for his wife. So it's just like, why would people try to make it more than that? Like, I just didn't understand it. And then from my perspective, it's just like me appreciating a good man loving his wife as a perverted way of, like, people making it seem like I wanted that person's situation. Like, I want her spot. Like, that's not perverted to y'all. Like, why are you okay with making that a projection? Why are you okay with making that the scenario? Why are you taking the negativity that far in your mind? Like, why can't you see it as a single person appreciating marriages and being content in where they're at, but still understanding that God's preparing them to be in that position one day and to learn different things that they should learn for that position? Like, why wouldn't that be your thought process? But again, God teaches me the way he teaches me, and he puts me in situations for others, I guess, to learn what they need to learn through it. But it was still just like, it was judgment. And it's like, it was, I guess, a just judgment versus a perverted judgment. Granted, I'm still not trying to say I was judging that lady, because it's not the fact that I was judging her because, like, I don't know her. It's just, I saw something and it just confused me. So I talked to my grandma about it, and I talked to God about it. And then a situation happened where it felt like, I guess it would be like the same type of judgment. But the difference is, it's like, people created something out of nothing compared to just seeing something that it really was what it was. But I'm not judging that lady. I'm really not. I'm just, it was what it was. So in the situation, what I've learned was, I've seen how, from an outside perspective, different comparisons, like, I've seen how he shows up for his wife, and I'm just like, I like the good. I like what I see as far as the good parts. But I'm like, God doesn't always let you zone in on what could be bad. And when he does show me what's, like, I guess, considered bad, it's not something that I'm just openly like, you need to fix this to have this worked out in your relationship, because that's not my place. Like, that's something God needs to minister to them in their relationship, because that's their union with God. Like, that has nothing to do with me. All I can do is learn my part. So when I'm seeing, like, so this is just how God works with me. It just, I hate that I have to explain this, but you have to explain some things, because people, like I said, they keep creating these weird scenarios. So what God did was he was showing me this person's wife's spirit and what she was crying out for to him. I'm more than likely assuming in their marriage. I'm talking about God. This is what she's been asking God about in their marriage, and this is just something that God has shown me. I don't know why. But so because she's wanting to fix whatever they have going on in the bad light of what they have happening in their marriage, it's like I would be in situations where I would see her spirit and other people, and the people would be explaining things taking place, and they would be asking for solutions. And I'm in a situation like, God, why are you having me hear this? Like, what is my purpose in this? Like, why do you want me to know that she's crying out in this way? Like, why does her wanting to work on their relationship so much why is that being shown to me? Like, what do you want from what do you want from me? This ain't got nothing to do with me. What do you want from me? I just don't know how to explain these things, because this is new to me. So I'm trying to explain it the best I can without sounding crazy, coming off as if things are more than what they are. And just, I'm trying to explain this. So the lady was basically just not understanding why things weren't working with her and her significant other. But the lady kind of looked like his wife. So I'm just like, okay, God, what do you want me to do in this? Like, the only thing I could think in my mind was like, if you want it to work, like, do what you can to make it work. Like, work on y'all communication with each other so that y'all could work through that together. Like, talk to each other. Like, tell each other what y'all need. Like, stop trying to find outside sources to give y'all an answer. Like, talk to God. God's he's gonna show up in some crazy ways. Like, this is how he's showing it up for you guys. But like, it's just like, to me, it's like, clearly it's at a point where y'all both want it to work out so bad that y'all are calling on God for God to show up in this way, to give you an answer to help y'all through it. But as an outside person being thrown in the mix, it's just like, all I can say is like, you can clearly see you both love each other. Why not talk to each other? Like, the same thing that y'all are trying to express outwardly to show others what is taking place, show that to each other so that y'all can actually work through it together. Like, that's the whole crying out. Like, I don't have to be in the mix. Like, I don't need to be in the middle of none of that. Like, even these outside people trying to create scenarios doesn't have to be a thing. Like, y'all went to God. God is telling y'all to come to each other. Like, the things that y'all are doing to show others what are taking place in from your perspective, a good light, from their perspective, a bad light. Talk to each other. Like, show up for your person in that good light, the way that you're showing others you are, and then express to your person the bad light so that they can show up in ways that you need, so that y'all can actually fix what's going on so that it's not a crying out to get to an understanding. And to me, this doesn't feel like the space or the place that should have taken place or even expressed like this, but this is the way that it's being placed out there. And I just want to apologize because the way life is going, I already know the people that's supposed to hear this is going to hear it, but I'm just praying that it's taken in the way that it's supposed to be taken in, and it's not perverted the way that it keeps trying to present itself. But the only thing that kept coming to mind through this whole situation and learning from it is just like, as the husband, God is showing me how important his voice or how important he is with how he shows up into the matter. So it's like, as the third wheel or the person placed into this situation, when I'm having these interactions with him, it's just like, when I see the harshness taking place, I'm just like, well, I would hope that's not taking place at home. Like, I can see how you being harsh to other people is trying to protect your person's feelings, but it's like, one, that's not really healthy. Like, you both should be secure in each other, that you don't have to do things like that. But I'm gonna take it as a grain of salt because I know that it has nothing to do with me. But as far as just showing up, like, God placed that in the Bible for a reason. Like, it's Colossians 3:19, husbands, don't be harsh to your wives. And he said that for a reason. Like, women's emotions are a thing, and even though men have to show up in a certain light for the world because of just the way that the world paints a perspective for you guys, it's like, it's understandable for you to speak to men like the way that you speak to men, because men are different. Men's egos are different, and that's just men being men. Like, that's things that y'all have to do. But you have to also understand when to flip that switch and understand how to show up for women, and even setting boundaries, but still having healthy boundaries where you don't have to show up in harsh lights or being negative to people just for like perspectives or to make other people feel comfortable. Like, you don't have to make other people feel uncomfortable to feel comfortable. And like I was saying, like, I would hope that things that I've seen on the negative aspect aren't ways that he shows up for his wife when it comes to negative aspects, even though I can understand. So, like, just from a perspective for myself, I'm not too nice when I'm tired. Like, my answers aren't as soft as they could be, or even if like an environment becomes too chaotic, like, I'm not showing up as the understanding person that I can when it's not that I don't want to. It's just things are taking place where it's just like, I might respond differently just based on what's taking place. But it's just being mindful enough to understand how to handle certain people in different situations and still being like healthy in a sense. And it even brought to mind just like that representation matters when it comes down to children as well. So even a little further down, Colossians 3:21 pretty much says like, don't be overly critical of your children, or it can, like, I'm gonna read it because I don't want to. It says, fathers, do not embitter your children or they will become discouraged. Like, even just how you show up as a man to your children, like, there's a healthy boundary or healthy standard that you have to set so that it's beneficial more so than just showing authority. Like, God has allowed you to be in a leadership position because he knows what you're capable of. So it's like, don't let outside environments negatively affect how you show up. So it's like taking situations and learning from it, but moving forward in a positive aspect to help promote growth or to help turn the environment into what you would want it to be, compared to taking the negativity out of it and projecting the negativity of it. Like, don't create scenarios that are perverted when you can create scenarios that are healthy outcomes or healthy perspective. Like, give Suit energy, bro. Like, I needed to give Suit. I need it. I need it. Because the way people are showing up is just, it's just not giving what it needs to give. And I'm just trying to learn what God need me to learn through it all and explain it in a articulate way that's not perverted, so that people can actually grow in these situations. But it's a little discouraging. Often I'm just like, God, why am I doing this? What do you want me to do in this situation? Because it keeps going the total opposite of what me and you's relationship is portraying, or how we're trying to learn through these situations, compared to what people want to paint the picture to be. And I heard a little voice cry out saying that, they don't have any more hope. And I can understand why. And it really can get very discouraging, where you don't want to continue on putting out what God has given you to be as a help or an assistant, when the world is just innately evil and wants to see the evil outcomes, or just want to thrive off negativity than to learn and grow and change and be what God wants to show as a representative of his people are, compared to the stereotypes that are being placed out there and people playing into the roles of those stereotypes. But I hope this came out the way it was supposed to come out, to help you understand what God's trying to show you through all of this almost an hour video is. But that's all I got for y'all. Until next time.